Well, it's James Stillwell again, former open-air preacher turned atheist, and I want to talk about a little bit my theory on the origin of morality. Where did morality come from? Well, here we go. We could either be a theist, Christian, and argue that it came from a book inspired by God, or I can make this argument, and that is that understanding others, that knowledge is the product, morality is the product of knowledge. For instance, I used to be homeless, and many times in my life I've been homeless. But before that, I think I looked at homeless people and stereotyped them and figured they were all just bums, alcoholics. Whenever they'd ask me for money, I'd just, say, hey, get a job or something like that. When I became homeless, I got to know other homeless people and got to see firsthand what it's like to be homeless, and started to understand homelessness. And some people are homeless because they are lazy, and they're lazy for many different reasons. Could be upbringing, could be all kinds of psychological reasons. And then there are people who lost their job and are just down in their luck, just need help. There are people like myself who are hit with a lot of child support, and so they can't afford to pay rent. They get one job, they get another job, but then child support just takes out of the other job, and so they end up still not being able to sufficiently support themselves. So there are many, many reasons why people are homeless. However, being homeless helped me to empathize with others, helped me to be understanding, to be kind to these people, to give to these people, because I better understood their circumstances. So if we go back to the first people, do a little thought experiment that existed on this planet, we could say Bob and Jane. And let's say Bob and Jane were walking through the woods one day, and Jane found a pretty rock. She picked up the rock. Bob saw it. He liked it, so he took it from her. And Jane felt a sense of anger, a sense of outrage, because he stole her pretty rock. Bob, of course, could care less, because these are the first people. They've not encountered any type of injustices before, or anything that they would call injustice. So, later on, Bob finds something that he likes. And maybe Bob is sick, and he doesn't have the strength that he usually has. Maybe he has a high fever. And so Jane takes something of Bob's. Bob feels the enragement that Jane once felt, and the sense of injustice. And so Bob immediately remembers, or maybe upon a walk and reflection, what he did to Jane and how it made her feel, and how it must have made her feel the same way he is feeling at that moment. So it is my belief that morality comes through education. Also, if you look at the United States and its beginnings, and you see how we first had slaves in the United States, many notorious founders of the country of the United States owned slaves. Why is it that slavery ended? Is it because they pointed to a verse in the book of the Bible? No. Slavery ended because they realized that, well, probably, that, and this could be a factor, that they ran themselves. They ran from tyranny of England and other places. And they realized that they were committing the same tyranny on their slaves, on enslaving other men. So, as we see, beliefs can be dangerous, and misunderstandings can be dangerous. A lack of knowledge can be dangerous. So this was my little thought experiment. Let me know what you think.